Apparently, there is a sick ass video circulating around Facebook with some babies, like 1 or 2 years old, and some sick ass with his penis on their mouths or on the mouth of one. Look, I'm sorry, I didn't see the video. Okay, I've heard about it. There's some things we need to understand about some of the sick stuff that goes on in society. I think a lot of us just don't get it. There is not anybody who we can really trust in terms of making sure that our children are safe from being molested or raped. Not even their own parents. You never know what somebody might be capable of. You might think, oh no, that's her dad. He wouldn't do that. Or, oh, that's his mom, or that's her mom. She won't. We have a lot of misconceptions as it pertains to molestation. When my daughter was young, I used to get into these debates with my husband about whether or not she could wear a dress. Every mom wants their little girl to wear a dress. He's like, no, I don't want her wearing dresses and skirts because, you know, there's sick people out here. They might be looking at her the wrong way. I wouldn't want to attract anybody to her because she's wearing a skirt. It doesn't matter what she's wearing. She could be bundled up from head to toe. Big bug stomping boots on. Leg warmers on top of jeans. The biggest coat you could find to put on her that goes all the way down to her knees. Scarf wrapped around, hat on, hood. A sick individual is gonna want that child, no matter what she's wearing. I don't care if it's a boy. If a male prefers males, specifically male children, I don't care what he's wearing. Boys don't wear skirts. Not typically. So, how do you prevent your little boys from being molested? We have to address these things that we think so that we can better protect our children. We think that people in our family, just because they're family, are trustworthy. I heard somebody, like a YouTube channel, they were talking about children who have no father in the home being more likely to be molested. I think the overarching idea in the discussion, because there were two people discussing it, was the notion that the reason for that is because a person will maybe think about it a little bit more if there's a father there, because the father is a protection. You know, somebody who might mess with a young girl or a young boy would think twice because the father's there. And I don't agree with that. I don't think it matters. They might take a little more time to devise a plan. They might not even do that. When you're dealing with a sick individual, you cannot apply logic to what they may or may not do. I think that a possible reason for children in two-parent households being less likely to be molested is more so an economic thing than a my daddy's here and can protect me thing. I mean, if daddy doesn't know something's going on, how's he going to protect you? I say economic because in two-parent households, you have more of an ability to make sure the child is at home. Even if both parents work, they can offset their shifts. A single parent, it doesn't matter what shift you take. During the time you're working, you have to figure out where the child's going to be. Now, if the child is at school, two-parent household or not, they're at risk every minute they're in that building with people you do not know. Actually, it doesn't even matter if you know them. There's more of a possibility every minute that they're out of your sight of you, the person watching, knowing that you are not going to do anything to your child. Every minute he's away from you is another minute that there's a possibility. So people in two-parent households have more of an ability to keep the child close with one parent or the other. And I think that is the reason why children of two-parent households are less likely to be molested. Not anything because daddy's home. I had to tell somebody this a while ago. Again, you can't apply logic to somebody who is sick mentally. You want to. You think you should be able to. But it just doesn't work that way. So what I said was, You know, I think a statement was made in terms of, well, you know, I have uncles and, you know, my brothers, and nobody would do that because of them. Oh, my uncle would beat them down. They don't care. Somebody who really wants something bad enough will go ahead and do whatever it is they want to do and deal with the repercussions that may happen or may not later. They're very calculated most of the time. It's not like they're going to be like, oh, here's my friend's daughter, let me just hurry up and molest her real quick. No, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a calculated movement. Okay? I said you can't apply logic to them. I didn't say they're stupid. They have the ability, like anybody else, to plan something. A lot of times that's why you have the aspect of manipulation that comes into play, manipulating the child. And sometimes they even manipulate the parents, and the parents don't realize it. You know, they think, oh my gosh, this person is great. This is a wonderful person. He would never. She would never. You think you know somebody. The individual can be manipulating the parents and scaring the crap out of a child. But that's not initially what they do, usually. Usually, they get the child to warm up to them first, by whatever means. Then, when they want the child to begin to do whatever it is they want them to do with them, for them, to them, if the child is reluctant, then they will start to employ techniques based on fear or embarrassment. You did this or you did that, and I'm going to tell. Say, for instance, someone has gotten a child to touch his private part. They might have done it reluctantly, but for some reason or another, let's not get into why. I mean, especially when we're talking about the age of a child, let's not even try to figure that out. But let's say that's occurred, and the child didn't want to really do it in the first place, but they did it because they really like this person. He's such a nice person. He's taken me places. He's bought me candy and cake and ice cream. My mommy and daddy really like him or her. And then they're starting to say, oh, well, you did this. If you don't do this now, I'm going to tell your parents and they're going to be very angry with you. They really screw up the mind of a child, not only through the manipulation, but the acts themselves. It's very devastating to somebody, and at first they don't really know what's going on. When they get the feeling, they feel it, something's wrong, that screws with them too. So I keep saying or her or she, because another misconception that we have in society is child molesters tend to be males. Or a problem that we have in society is when we find that there are female child molesters or rapists, we don't really react appropriately, especially if the person or individual or the child is a male, depending on the age. But when we get into 10, 11, 12 and up, especially when it comes to men, they're like, oh, well, you know, it's a boy and da-da-da-da. Whatever these male chauvinistic or whatever stupid ideas when it comes to a male being improperly touched or engaging in sexual acts at early age. We really need to address that. There are a lot of men who were molested as little boys, some by women, some by men, some by both. And we're looking at the effects. And a lot of times, the effects, the mental effects that are being displayed are things that we attribute to maleness, manhood. Men who are using women, men who can't commit in relationships, men who are sex addicts. Those aren't looked down upon in general when it's men. When it's women, it's a problem. And I don't even think people care about possible causes when it comes to women. That's sad. And I want to go back to what I said about parents. The movie Precious. That movie was sick on so many levels. I can't begin to address it fully, and that's not what this video is for. Anyways, I'm trying to maintain my composure here. This is a very sensitive subject for me. Okay, so the the person being abused in that movie was a teenage girl. But I want to make it very clear, just like in that movie where the mother sits there talking about how the father started in on her when she was a baby, that happens all the time. One parent might be oblivious for a while, or there might come a time when they might know all along, they might be involved, might be both parents. So later in the movie, we see the mother call the daughter to the room. She's clearly engaged in sexual actions. And anybody who's sitting there watching the movie can figure out why she called the daughter there. This happens. It's real. It's real. Mothers can be sick. And I think we know that to some extent. But we tend to think that mama can't do no wrong, but there are sick people, male or female, and these people have children sometimes. Actually, a lot of the time they have children. I'm going to make more videos about the issue because there's so much. But this is the first, like I said, inspired by this sickness that I see floating around or that I'll hear about, because I haven't seen it. I don't think I could deal with seeing it. I want to talk more in subsequent videos about the effects and more about misconceptions, because there are so many, it's ridiculous. And how we deal with it when the offender is a woman, or how we don't deal with it. We need awareness. We need reality checks. I think we've touched on the issue a little bit too much, and we need to grab it by the neck and shake it up.